Congratulations, Corey Ray. You won the giveaway from San Diego Comic-Con, but we're at a different convention this weekend. C2E2 2022 with Gem Mint from Gem Mint Collectibles. Let's get into it. Another week, another list, another convention. We're broadcasting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Actually, I'll let you know where we are. We're in Chicago.
That's right, we're at C2E2. This is day one, and we're taking time out of the busy convention to bring you the Trending 10.
Hit the like, slap the subscribe button, and at the list at number 10, we have a artist that I have never seen on a comic book cover, and it happened at DC Comics.
Yeah, that's right. This is Poison Ivy issue 3, and it's a variant cover by Seb McKinnon. Now, you may know Seb from Magic the Gathering, and looking at this cover, it's pretty clear that that's their background. It's a very mysterious, magical type of cover with a great-looking Poison Ivy.
This comic book is brand new this week, hitting $60 average sales, so clearly the comic fan wants to see more from this award-winning artist. His ability to draw with such vibrance and beauty is making me hope that Marvel's paying attention to the decisions DC's making.
Yeah, you're right. For their first variant cover in comic books to hit $60 averages, make sure to follow Seb McKinnon over on Instagram, and hopefully, like Tom said, we see more from him in the future.
If you enjoy what we do, hit the link in the description. Join the August mystery mail call. 1 per box. We're sending out a cover art done by Peach Momoko on Chris Claremont's Gambit #1. We teamed up with Whatnot, so we have trade dresses and virgins going out at random. Not both, but it is guaranteed 1 per box. Give me an excuse to send you comics every single month, and at the list at number 9, Captain Marvel #9, debuting in 2014.
This is the first appearance of Prince Yan of Alanda. Now, this book is heating up because it's rumored that the Marvels is going to take us to a musical planet.
That's right. This planet is filled with individuals who only speak in rhyme. And this news broke this week, and we're seeing a 750% increase in copies sold on a book that has been selling for $5 and cover price prior to this news breaking.
Kind of reminds me of Etrigan the Demon, only speaking in rhyme.
True. All the time, because he's so fine. Don't get this comic book confused with Avenging Spider-Man #9, which is the first appearance of Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel, which, by the way, at a 9.6 is hitting like $100.
Yeah, that seems low, only $100 for a 9.6. This book was on fire when it first came out. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Moving on to number 8, we do have Amazing Spider-Man 149. This is the first appearance of the clone of Spider-Man, Ben Reilly.
All right, we have a book that debuted in 1975, seeing $100 average sales. I found a May 9.6 high of $1,300. The last time a 9.8 hit the market and sold back in April, according to GPA, this year was for 5,280 bones.
Way above the 12-month average of $3,682. There's also a 200% increase in copies sold, and that's because Ben Reilly is going to be one of the new villains in the big Dark Web event.
Now, when we're talking about Dark Web, we don't mean like shady stuff that you get on the internet. No. Marvel's next big event is taking Spider-Man and the X-Men, doing a crossover and putting them up against former foes, specifically clones from both franchises. We got Ben Reilly teaming up with Madeline Pryor,
a.k.a. the Queen Goblin,
a.k.a. Jean Grey's clone.
There's a love-hate relationship with the clone saga. Me, growing up in the 90s, that was my Spider-Man. I loved Scarlet Spider and New Spider-Man with that updated costume. The first appearance of Ben Reilly as Scarlet Spider has been kind of all over the map. Web of Spider-Man 118 and a 9.8 was selling for $600 to $700 all year round. In May of this year, we had a sale of $1,185.
But look at this sale that just took place on eBay. $450 for a CGC 9.8. People are a little unsure what to pay for this book, but I suspect it's similar to what you said. And me as well. Like, we grew up on this character. We love this book. There's a nostalgia factor. So people will pay what they want at the time they want it.
Moving on to number 7 on the list, we're taking you to the Magic Kingdom.
That's right, Haunted Mansion #1. This book came out in 2005. It's based off of the classic ride that everyone's got to go enjoy when they visit Disney. This is hitting $25 average sales, and a CGC 9.8 hit $66. So I'm going to give a recommendation. If you're looking to invest, if you're looking to buy a high-grade copy of this book, skip the raw copy and just get yourself a graded 9.8. It's selling for too damn cheap.
Seriously, but if you do want to collect raw, you got to look for that foil, the red foil cover, which goes for about $100. And if you want to go even more scarce, Scotty Young has a variant which is going for about $325 in a 9.8.
There are multiple variants for this issue, and we're seeing a 333% increase in copies sold across the board. Jamie Lee Curtis and Jared Leto, news broke that they are both going to be part of the adaptation that they're bringing to the screen about this horror-themed ride. Very intriguing. At the list at number 6, we have Sandman #8, Neil Gaiman goodness, debuting in 1989. The first appearance of Death, and after years of production limbo, Sandman has arrived on Netflix.
Now, the show has premiered. We haven't caught episode 1 yet, been traveling and doing the convention scene, but definitely going to check it out. This book has $130 average sales with a CGC 9.8 selling for $1,099.
Now, this book is tough and high grade. The paper is low quality, and this comic is a major key that regardless of how well this show does on Netflix is going to always sell well. It's very respected. This book hit highs of like $2,000 over the last year. Seeing lows of $1,000 is closer to what it was going earlier this year. This may be one of the best times to pick up the book for investment purposes, because if it goes up at all, it's going to become even more pricey and it could go double.
We're seeing a 173% increase in copies sold, but like Tom said, it's always been a key and it always will be regardless of the show.
Now you have to keep an eye out for the very scarce variant of this issue. A rumored 600 were printed, and all that's different is on the first page, there's an editorial commentary from an editor named Karen Berger. Last March, a 9.8 sold for over $10,000, and I've had members of our community grade their Sandman 8s, not realizing that they had the variant in hand, and they were very happy to see that CGC label pointed out.
Moving on to number 5 on the list, you know we had to have Star Wars Rogue One make the list. We had the Andor trailer drop, and fans are excited.
This is the movie adaptation coming out in 2017, $25 average sales, $160 for a CGC 9.8. I've read that this is the first Disney Plus Star Wars show to not utilize that like screen background, and they actually are taking it out to nature. You're getting real shots, and it looks gorgeous.
This is the first appearance of Cassian Andor, and we're seeing a 567% increase in copies sold.
Forrest Whitaker is reprising his role, which was only rumored until this week. Keep an eye out for the Terry Dotson variant. That's hitting $180 average raw sales. And September 21st is when you can expect Andor to arrive on Disney+. 3 solid episodes are going to premiere, and we're going to see the start of the revolution.
Which brings us to number 4 on the list, Amazing Spider-Man issue 10. This is from 2015. It's the first appearance of Spider-Punk.
This book is seeing $50 average sales, $300 for a CGC 9.8. This comic, this character, is got a huge fan base, and over the last year, I've seen so many smart spec moves in the community, people buying this book and other covers essentially blindly because they knew there was a solid chance we were going to see this character in Into the Spider-Verse. We're going to see a lot of Spider-Men, women, creatures. Spider-Punk is coming, especially when you look at the toys that are coming out. There is this guitar. Did you see this?
I did see it. I think that it looks awesome. This kid shredding on the Spider-Punk guitar on the cover art here. It looks awesome.
It looks like webs are going to be shooting out of the headstock of this guitar. I think that fans are going to be really excited to see Spider-Punk on the screen, but also it's going to be a bit refreshing, especially as far as spec goes, to see a character that premiered just like 7 years ago for the first time in an animation that takes years to produce. That means any character that gets created and put into comics could possibly see the big screen in under 3 years planning.
Yeah, and that's what's fun about the spec game. You know, you never know which one's gonna pop. Now, this one had a lot going for it. It had a cool costume design. The character now has his own series, and we're seeing a 350% increase in copies sold after this toy leak.
We also have a 1 in 25 Gabriel Del Auto variant that is hitting $750 for a CGC 9.8. And I mentioned there are other covers that feature Spider-Punk on it that are spiking. I want to show you Edge of Spider-Geddon issue number 1. This debuted in 2018, seeing $20 average sales. And it also made the trending 20 on the best comic app in the world.
Yeah, that's right. We sourced this data from Key Collector Comics. This is actually a trending 20 list. We picked the 10 that we wanted to discuss, but make sure you download the app so you can see the full list every week before our video comes out.
Utilize code TOM101 on the app. Support the show, but get yourself a free 2-week subscription of the app in its entirety. Better your comic book knowledge, catalog your comics, get suggested pricing on your collection and on the books you're speculating on, and so much more. Now, moving over to number 3 on the list, we have Astonishing Ant-Man number 6. This is the issue after the classic, one of my favorite Ant-Man short series, Second Chance Man. We have Cassie Lang spiking a comic book again.
That's right. This is where Cassie Lang takes on the Stinger moniker, and that's the costume that we're seeing on the Ant-Man and Wasp 3 Quantumania poster.
The Quantumania hype is real. We're going to see Jonathan Majors. We're going to get Kang. We're also going to see MODOK. I'm crossing my fingers that we're going to see Jim Carrey portray him. And Cassie Lang going full Young Avenger. It's expected. This is seeing an increase of 233% in copies sold this week, $30 average sales, and a 9.8 hitting 230. And that's not the only spec hype happening in the comic game.
That's right. We also just got done talking about Marvel Premiere issue 47, which is the first appearance of Cassie and also the first appearance of Scott Lang as Ant-Man.
That book be spiking too. At the list at number 2, we're talking Matt Kindt. We're talking Mind Management issue number 1. Independent goodness, seeing $15 average sales and a 9.8 hitting $250. Imagine on our way here to C2E2, if you took this plane ride and after you get off the plane, you forget everything you experienced on the airplane, including who you are and everything about your past.
Sounds like something out of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, and that's what happens in this short, under 40 issue series that Matt Kindt has been teasing is possibly going to be not just option, but maybe hit Netflix. And what's this? August 2022, option for Netflix. It's coming. And this isn't the only Matt Kindt book that is seeing spikes this week.
That's right. He had another book on the trending 20 list, Bang issue 1 from February of 2020, seeing average sales of $15 and a CGC 9.8 going for $100.
So get this, Mind Management has producers from Stranger Things attached to it. Ooh. And if that show does well, clearly it's going to set up, just like other creators' comics who have been optioned over the last few years, I'm thinking like Mark Millar, to possibly bring the other option series to the screen, maybe even faster. This Mind Management issue 1 is seeing an increase of copies sold of 500%, and Bang issue 1 could have been swapped out at number 2 because that is seeing an increase of copies sold of 1,150%. Hot damn, comic fam.
Yeah, we just kind of snuck both Matt Kindt books into this list.
It's how we do. Hit the subscribe button, slap the like button. It'll enter you to win a giveaway. And at the list at number 1, the number 1 trending book this week as we begin our C2E2 coverage. Join us on the best new app to buy and sell collectibles, Whatnot. We're streaming all weekend.
We're streaming from here. We're streaming from the Whatnot booth at the convention, which is so dope. They have like 7 different little areas you can stream from. We're going to hit it right after this, actually.
We're going to be on the main stage. We're hunting for exclusives for you. Link in the description to follow both of our pages. And the number 1 trending book this week premiered on television. On streaming services, we have Brian K. Vaughan's Paper Girls issue number 1.
Haven't had a chance to check it out yet. I wanted to, but I had to finish Stranger Things. I had to finish The Boys. Definitely going to give Paper Girls a shout. Now, it hasn't really been spiking, but there has been a 329% increase in copies sold. A CGC 9.8 goes for about $100. Raw, you're looking at about 25 for average.
I've been watching this book for over the last year. This book was like 70, 80, 125, and then now it's like hitting 100 for a 9.8. If you like the series, if you think it could go the distance, this is a great time to throw money down. Because even if it goes down a little bit, you're paying like $10, $20 for entry at this point when you base it off of the pricing historical data.
Now, we got to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely. Because not only Paper Girls was a key issue alert, news broken by Key Collector Comics. Mind Management was news broken by Key Collector Comics. Bang was a key issue alert, broken news by Key Collector Comics. Beating Deadline, including the high evolutionary spec that was validated, that was broken by Key Collector, as was the OG Peacemaker. That news broken by Key Collector. Even Kate Bishop getting her own show on Hawkeye was news broken by Key Collector Comics.
It almost sounds like Nick knows what he's talking about.
That's why you got to download the app. And, as always,
Geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
Nuff?
No.
Said.
Said.